All right, my name is Aaron,
And I'm Christian.
and this is episode 18 of Brain 10. We're doing 10 ways to tell your story on Snapchat today. And this is pretty popular. A lot of people are putting a lot of press into 2016 and Snapchat, so we thought we would give some tidbits of information on that. All right, so let's just jump in here. Jennifer, since you're here right now, I'll kind of explain to you. We talk about we have 10 things. Typically, it's 11 or 12. We throw in some bonus ones, but we brainstorm these ideas every day of things that we use and interact with our business and our clients. So, number one, we'll start out with a little bit of the basics. Is to use the geotagging when available. I wouldn't say to use it all the time, but when you get on Snapchat and you go through and you take a picture, if you scroll to the left or the right, it creates these filters. And if you have your location turned on, for example, we're in the Dallas area, it will come across and it will say, down at the top, like Dallas Life, or it will say something like a suburb of Dallas, like Deep Ellum, and it'll come across the bottom and it has a graphic to do that. So when you're telling your story, if you're down in Dallas or if you're in somewhere with a geolocation that's relevant, swing it on there. It's a graphic, it's more creative, and it allows users to interact with you easier.
Now, also, don't you get a higher percentage of being on an actual live story also when you use those two?
You can. You have to make sure that you post it to my story, which what you're talking about. So you can post it to your story, which is just your personal story, or there's a story like the Dallas Life story. And so there's two different things. And if you click the Dallas Life story, it will tell you like, hey, if your Snapchat is picked, typically there are videos. So if you're trying to get on that, use video. But if you pick that, then there could be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who view that Snapchat.
Right. Yeah, and that'll be awesome exposure for your company or anyone.
Right.
But usually they do like, more like cultural things that are going on in those locations, I feel like anyways.
Yeah. Or like band day or, whatever's going on. Football games. I see a lot of football games and stuff too.
But it's the same. I mean, even though, remember when Amanda, my cousin, was in it from the Puerto Rico one? She was drinking a beer and her whole logo of the beer was showing, and that was worldwide, so
right.
That's like exposure right there. So
right.
Yeah, there still could be ways of, you getting in there. So
right. I think she had like 3 or 4 million people who saw that too.
Yeah. Alrighty. Okay, so number 2, this is for people basically. I mean, this could work. All these tips could work for, individual persons like Aaron or I, or me, and it could work for big brands too. I just followed today actually a whole bunch of big brands just to see kind of like what they're doing,
right?
And even small businesses. So go behind the scenes of what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. It's a really cool way to see. People always want to see that. People always want to see what's going on behind the scenes, what it's like in a life of a marketer or something like that, or like what is it like to be Gary Vaynerchuk, for example.
Right.
I know he's been on Snapchat and talking about Snapchat a lot lately. So always make sure that you go behind the scenes and show what you're doing. A very, very popular account that I follow, his name is Dr. Miami, and he started doing Snapchats of his operation. He's a plastic surgeon in Miami, and he started doing the live Snapchats of him doing operations and stuff. Not himself, obviously. He hired 2 or 3 people actually to take over all his social media stuff, and he's been really successful. Not only to people like me who are just curious about how plastic surgery works,
right?
But actually like medicine and students that are looking for how is it to be in the operating room, and basically the life of a surgeon, and it's just fascinating to see that. Again, his name is Dr. Miami. You can just Google him and you'll see even articles written about him and stuff, and it's pretty cool. And he's gotten so successful that he doesn't even need to do any more marketing. All he has to do is just keep doing Snapchat videos, and he has people coming in the office just to be on his Snapchat story and stuff like that. So it's a great way. It's a great way to expose your business, basically, especially for millennials and the younger generation. Although I know Aaron and I would talk about how older people are getting in there. We know our parents are in there too, so they're slowly but surely.
Right, everybody's jumping on Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're influencing, like where I'm influencing my parents to get on Snapchat, so they got on Snapchat, and then my fiance's sister had a baby, and her parents can't ever really see her, so they're like, yeah, we'll check out the Snapchat stories of the baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, tons of different purposes for it. Number 3, make a theme for the day. So if you're telling a story, you want to try to make a theme, even if it's something as simple as I give an example of going to the park. So you wake up and it's like getting everything ready. So you had like a selfie saying like, I'm going to the park today. And then you're like walking, could be a video or like a snap of like you getting the things ready for the park. And then a picture of the car, like, yes, we're going to take the car, or should we walk? And ask the audience the question, like, should I walk or should I drive? Get some engagement that way. If they say to walk, all right, we're walking to the park. And this is us walking to the park, blah, blah, blah. As soon as you get to the park, the interaction, whether it's video, questions, etc. Keep going on with that theme. But people are interested to know, like, oh, this is cool. Like, he woke up, he went, got his stuff ready, he went, walked to the park. This is what he's doing at the park. So you're creating a theme for the day. There's obviously things that are a lot more interesting, but you are going to get a high click-through rate with something like that if you do tell the story that way and you keep a theme.
Right. All right. So number 4 is other social media platforms. They rate engagement on people commenting and liking and doing all that stuff. With Snapchat, it's a little bit harder, but they did add a new feature, where on a story, depending on what picture or video you see, if you're watching someone's story, you can just swipe up and you can comment something on that specific picture or video.
Right.
So while you're doing a story, you can take maybe, just a few seconds within your story to ask questions to your followers, or maybe to tell them to say hi. That's a great way to, get that more engagement with, your Snapchat followers. Not just, people just blindly just looking at all your stuff. That way you create a little bit more engagement with it. And I think that's one of the reasons why Snapchat created that feature right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's I don't know. I think that's a good way to not only like within your snaps, but just to go out and actually explore and have those people engaged later on. Like, oh, they're commenting, they're, interacting back with me. And brands, if you're a bigger brand or even, a medium-sized brand, if you're actually reaching out to your customers, they're going to be like, wow, so-and-so business is actually talking to me. This is crazy. I had a big brand with like 14 or 20,000 followers actually message me back. So the fact that they were going and commenting back with me, they were able to, keep me engaged with what I was doing.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way. Yeah.
Okay, so number 5. So Snapchat is personal, so make it personal. And I was looking at my notes here. So like talking to the camera or a selfie mode. So, you can take pictures, and pictures are definitely good, but I would say more video than I would see pictures, because if you're in selfie mode and you're like talking to people and like, explaining to them what's going on or saying like, have a great day or something, that speaks a lot more volumes. It's real, it's authentic, it's raw than just a regular picture that says something. So it's a lot more engaging. Video still, more power, more engagement over pictures. And it's the same thing with Snapchat. You get to add a layer of, like not engagement, but a layer of like, personability, like that you could actually talk to that person.
Yeah. I'm thinking about the video part of it. I know whenever Casey Neistat used to use Snapchat a lot before he launched his social media platform, he used to do that a lot. He used to talk to people a lot using video. He rarely used still images, but when he used videos, like, you were there. You had to listen to the whole video, to get the full effect of whatever he was talking about. Because he would, do a video somewhere and continue the conversation, with other videos. So you have to watch the whole thing. He kept you engaged, and there. As we're, if you have a picture, it could be a little bit harder to, tell a story that way.
Right.
But it's still doable. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Going off of that, I was just going to move on to number 6.
Okay.
So speaking of Casey, he used to do this very, very well. And whenever you're telling a story, whenever you're telling a certain story, you can keep it consistent with, and I think Aaron was the one who wrote this, with filters. So you could be talking about a certain topic, and you could use a specific filter. And once you're done talking about that topic, you can switch to something different. So you let the people who are watching that conversation ended, and you're moving on to something different. So for example, if you're like I don't know, maybe you own a shop that they do cupcakes, and maybe you're doing a tutorial on how to do a certain type of cupcake or something. You could use that specific filter, to go and do a tutorial on Snapchat. And then after you're done, you just, you switch to something different, which is a great way to, even target, millennials with cupcakes, doing cupcakes on Snapchat.
Right.
That's a great idea.
I would buy that for sure.
Yeah. So basically, you want to make sure that you're switching backgrounds and switching filters in order to, keep the audience, engaged, but at the same time, let them know, that the conversation has ended.
That was number 6. All right, number 7. Use text when creating your stories. So if you do use a picture, or even if you do use a video, you can, it comes up with a little section there where you can type the text, and you can type it in small print. You can then pick that T that's up at the top, and it will actually make your print a lot bigger. Within that, you can change the color of that. You can add lines down below it or above it. That's what I do a lot of, just to contrast the text and pop it out at your face, or easier to read, basically. But even though your video says for example, if I was saying, thanks for joining me as I went to the park today, and then down in the text below is watch the full journey on Instagram, or watch the full journey on Facebook, or check out my personal pictures on Facebook. And it's just something that's related to it, could not be related to it, but it's just a text, another way of engaging with them as they're watching the video. Oh, he wants me to, go and check him out on Facebook. And then you're more likely to jump off of Facebook or off of Snapchat and go change the conversation with them on Facebook.
Yeah, and going back to the text, I know we were talking about a little tips and tricks using the text. And another thing was the ability to change colors to even each letter. You could do that for each letter,
right.
As long as you just select, you use the select button and you select a specific word, a specific letter, and you can get more creative, using colors and text. Number 8, it's going to be Doodle. So basically, besides text, Snapchat also allows you to draw using different colors
there a little
too.
Bit.
Can you hear me? All right, we're back. Something happened. We don't know what happened, so we had to shut down Blab and go back. Okay, so we're on number 8. Number 8 is Doodle. So besides the text, what Aaron was talking about on number 7 is Snapchat gives you the ability to use colors and use your finger, or if you have a stylus, you can use the stylus. If you have a device that works with the stylus, and you can doodle on your Snapchat images. Can you do it on videos?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, get creative. Use the colors. Use all the colors that you can use. I've seen people who they do full on, paintings basically on the whole Snapchat.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, for that you obviously need some kind of stylist or something in order to do that and get it so detailed. But it's awesome. It's really really cool. So yeah, and I actually Fallon, they have a Snapchat account, and they use the Doodle to kind of like a creative way of showing like who's going to be on tonight. So
Who does this?
Fallon, Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, Jimmy Fallon. Okay, I thought you said Fallon. Sorry.
And they do, or whoever is in charge of their account, they use the Doodle a lot, and they write with the Doodle. Tonight on Fallon, staring, Joseph Gordon-Levitt or like Scarlett Johansson, and like they write that stuff on each on each image on Snapchat, and it's pretty cool. It's very 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 creative. So
yeah, that is a great idea, especially if you already have an audience like that to just grab it. They're reaching the audience. It's just another platform to talk to your audience. So all right, that was number 8. Moving on to number 9, use hashtags to get users to follow your story on another platform. So you can have them on something like Snapchat, but then you want to get them over onto something like Twitter to continue the conversation, or to Instagram to continue that conversation. So, you may not be able to pick up a follower on Twitter because they don't know about you yet. But if they find out that you're creative, or they hear about you from Snapchat, you may be able to interact and reach that new person, and then say, use the hashtag #BitBranding on Twitter. We'll find you and then interact with you there, or ask blank and blank, and we'll comment and talk to you then. And then you can follow that person, private message that person, and it just kind of leads from there into other social networks, like hey, now add me on LinkedIn, etc., etc.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's a great way to keep the conversation going, conversation alive. So, okay, so number 10 is so you have the ability to send images that you already have saved on your phone to your followers.
Right.
You can't share it on your story. So the way to do it, you share it on a private message. So when you do the private message, you click on the yellow button, and then it will give you the opportunity to take a picture. But on the corner, it will also have, basically your pictures on your phone. So you can do that, and you can send someone individually, basically, but you can add more people to send a specific picture in their private messages. Now, a great way for a company or a small business to use this is to give out coupons or discounts.
Right.
You could even do, some type of contest on Snapchat and say that you'll pick a winner, from all your viewers at random. That's a great way to do that. And you just pick a random winner, you private message them, and you send them a picture of like some kind of coupon or discount. And it's a pretty cool feature. Besides that, the only other way to send or put still images like that, or images that you already have created on Snapchat, is to use like Snapchat Uploader or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called there?
Snapchat Uploader.
I haven't used that. I just downloaded it recently. But I know Aaron's done it before, so it works. Maybe a little bit sketchy, but it works.
Yeah, it's a little buggy. But I was just thinking, actually, another way that like the private message is to, like you're saying, pick it at random. But what if like you had that on your, saying you're going to give away a coupon, and then the people who all messaged you, they would have to use that Snapchat or post that on Instagram, and then you could move that conversation. But anybody who posted that on Instagram, that's where you found it, was the hashtag. Like, use this hashtag or post a picture on Instagram with this coupon code, blah, 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 and we'll find you that way. Just another tip to use. So looks like we got a Jose in here. Is that Jose? Hopefully, Jose. Thanks for jumping in. We are number 11. So you can save your snaps, and you can save your snaps that are on the video, like individual snaps, and you can save the full Snapchat story. And what you could do with this is, instead of just posting that one Snapchat picture, or you can use it later basically to repurpose it like on Instagram or Facebook, saying like, hey, follow me on Snapchat for these tips, or blah, blah, blah. But then you could do the video. So for example, if you did it, how to get more followers on Instagram, and said like, hey, follow me on Snapchat, I'll show you how to do it. And you do all your Snapchat tips on Snapchat. Then you could take that video that you downloaded, uploaded like one or two of the steps on Facebook, and say like, hey, jump in on the Snapchat conversation. And so using the video feature and the downloadable feature with Snapchat, you can then pull your other mediums. So if you have more leverage on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, you can tell them like, hey, follow me on Snapchat for this, and start building your audience that way with the videos and pictures that you're able to download.
Right. Kind of like a similar feature just like Blab has, where we can save these videos, and we actually put them on YouTube for other people to watch. Or if you're in a hurry and have time right now to watch our videos, you can obviously watch our replays here on Blab, but you can also go jump on YouTube and check out all the videos that we've made.
Right. Or if you really just don't like to see us on tape, we have all of our content literally in one document. So you can grab that document, start using the information right away. So we just give it away for free. So this whole PDF that we're going off of, the 10 plus steps or the 10 ways, you can go to our YouTube page and grab all that data. Mm-hmm. Which I'll put that down here actually. What number are we on now? 12?
Yep.
All right, so this is me. You can use the ability to shoot forward and backward on the camera. So what I mean by that is that you can start off shooting selfie mode, and you can say like, hey, today's going to be a great day. You can quickly change it. You have 10 seconds, but click the button, just flip the camera and show that, it really is a sunny day, or it's going to be a great day. And so use that feature. It's like first person. So like they're seeing you. It's like, oh, there's, Aaron. And then now I'm seeing what he's seeing. It just adds another level of depth of the, personable person and raw video that you have. And then I would say, even to take it up a notch, add some text or doodle a little bit, like Christian was saying, like put a smiley face, or like have a great day in the text. But definitely use the ability of the camera to take forward and backward pictures, and then the zooming feature too. I don't think we put that on here, but now thinking about it, like switching in between the cameras and yes, using your fingers to zoom in and out.
Yeah. I just remember like someone Snapchatted something. It was of themselves, like I think they were just using it, just to Snapchat themselves on the mirror, but they were using the zoom feature. They were just zooming on their face, and I don't know, it was just funny. Yeah. So, okay, number 13, this is like a tip in order, if you need some inspiration or some people that you can follow so you can get some ideas for your business or your own personal brand. We got two websites. One, it's called snapchatters.co. Aaron's going to put it down there.
Yes.
And the other one's going to be called www.snapchat.codes. Again, both of these are both are websites that all they have is just, people who are on Snapchat. I believe Snapchat.codes, they split it up into categories. So you can see like celebrities or chefs or brands. So they split it up into categories, so you can actually see, who's who and what's what. It doesn't give you a description of who that person is. Now, the other one, Snapchatters.co, it's more of just a big list of interesting people on Snapchat. And Snapchatters.co does give you a little bit of blurb of information on who that person is and why they're famous on Snapchat. Again, these two websites are very good for, if you want some inspiration, grab some ideas from some big brands, see what they're doing on Snapchat, and that way you can actually, maybe practice some of these own, things on your Snapchat stories. So.
Right. So that is it. I cannot think of any other bonus ones we want to do, but I will put the link. So we got a question down here. This is like Snapchat for beginners. You should be recording. Maybe you are. It doesn't show either way on my end. We are recording this, and it is more for beginners. We have some more advanced steps, so we'll probably do a couple of different videos throughout the year because we believe in 2016 Snapchat will be huge. So most people are not on Snapchat. More people are getting on there, and they're taking pictures, but not very many businesses are using the full effect of Snapchat yet. And so that's what we're trying to do, is just to get the basics and tips on how to even use the tool, and then how you can use that to interact with people within your company. So, you have companies like the Wall Street Journal or Social Media Examiner or Product Hunt or something like that. They're using them, but not a ton of businesses. So if you do have a small business, I would highly advise you to get ahead of the game. It probably will be 10 times bigger next year. So this whole year, I was even listening to a video today. It's like, this year matters as far as Snapchat. You're like, not very many people are there yet, but you're building your audience and it's growing. I think it's at like 350 million viewers right now, or active users. So, pretty soon, if it has not already, I think it's going to surpass Twitter. So, all right. So again, this was episode 18. My name is Aaron.
And I'm Christian.
And this video can be seen on YouTube. We'll put the link down below for you Blab users who rewatch this, or the Blab users who want to just grab the content. We have a document that we put on our YouTube videos. You can grab it and download it. And we'll see you guys this Friday. What is that? The 8th, January 8th. For our tech, we do 2 to 3 blabs per week, and then on Fridays we do 10 plus new tech products and services in the industry and how we use them in our businesses, or how we think you'd be able to use them. So thanks, guys.